So very much a delegate here from my colleague in art history, Leon Wainwright, who established the Open Arts Journal in 2013. And there's been a lot of discussion about forming internal networks, forming external networks, producing outputs from that. There is no, I suppose, better example than this, than the Open Arts Journal. It forms networks both within FAS and within the university. It brings together research between faculties, particularly between, there's one, I think it was, there's one of these art history and design, for instance, but also it accumulates or gets research from different funding bodies, from different centres, therefore from organisations external to the Open University. I could go through these different issues, and you can see the diversity of subjects, for instance, that the journal's published on. And I'm going to discuss issue 12 in a bit more length in a bit, because it's the one I was involved in. But Leonie sent me a couple of documents which I thought I'd just share some information from, I thought were quite interesting. One, he sent me all the data of all of the readers of the Open Arts Journal from across the world over many years, and there's hundreds of thousands, and he broke it down country by country, and there was one reader from American Samoa, in case he's listening in, or she's listening in. Thank you dearly. And the other one that Leon sent me was a blog post by one of the authors, I think, for issue 11. A researcher called Bob Gaunt is going to be publishing what's happened to his research after publishing in issue 11. He published on a subject which I don't know anything about. It's on the photography of a Ukrainian refugee called Michael Daniliv. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He was photographing Salford just after the Second World War. So lots of images of Salford before, I think, part of the area is redeveloped. But Bob Gaunt, he's written in this forthcoming publication, what has happened since publication has made getting involved in Open Arts Journal feel even more worthwhile. The article has begun circulating in Stockport itself, often as a hard copy passed among people with a direct connection to the area. Readers have recognised faces, places and events. Some have got in touch, others have shared memories. The essay has started to move through the community whose history it describes, and in doing so it has helped prompt fresh conversations about Brinksway, that is the area in Salford, and the value of Danilev's photographic archive. And there was also, I think, a local exhibition as well held in Salford. So, you know, we're discussing impact. I think that's a very interesting impact case study. I'll now move, so if you want to get in touch with Leon, the key figures are Leon, Alice as well, and Thilo as well as mentioned. Just my own experience as well. They were it was an editorial team that were very responsive and very good to work with. So, so if you do want to get involved, I would recommend that these are some people who you can have, well, they're our colleagues, but take it from me that you can have some faith and trust in them. And, oh, no, wrong one. Not me, of course. No, what's it? Pour down. Pour down. This one. Okay, now medieval and early modern research group. Let me just, yes. Okay. So, with a colleague of mine, Margit Doffner, we produced one of in fact, the most recent published edition of the Open Arts Journal. We produced Picturing Bodies in Medieval and Early Modern Europe. And I would encourage you to scan through these articles, maybe to get a flavour of the quality of research which gets published here. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I edited this, but I suppose that means I'm quite familiar with these essays, and they would stand up to any publication published in any academic journal in art history, at least, around the world, whether that be Critical Inquiry, Art History, or Open Arts Journal. A couple of people here, Silvia de Renzi's article on surgery in sodomy in early modern Rome is in particular a wonderful article. And I suppose also Peg, her research into Dürer in Leonardo, she found some fascinating documents, again on Dürer in Leonardo. I would have thought that the research into these artists would have been quite saturated by now, but it's incredible what insights that she brings with another look at evidence and also in finding new evidence. There's a little bit of filler here, you know, not every album's perfect. But this journal, it came out of the research culture at the Open University. It didn't just come out of nowhere. There is a research group, Medieval and Early Modern Studies, who've been meeting, I think, for about 10 years. I've not been here that long. But it takes a while for, I suppose, colleagues to get to know each other, but also to develop a sense of familiarity and confidence to be able to get to something like this. So even though there's a few authors from the OU and externally here, there is also an organisation of people who've been meeting together to discuss ideas, to develop the type of coherency necessary to produce a themed journal like this, which is not just a hodgepodge of ideas. We did make sure that the articles reference one another, they addressed essential research problem, and it's more than the sum of its parts. There is an intellectual ambition to this journal as a whole, and that comes through discussion, regular discussion among people in this university. This wasn't just a call for papers. It came from a very active research culture. So thank you for everyone who's been attending those. I can't shout out everybody. Some of the people externally that we've been working with as well. So I've just described MEMS. There was also, we worked with some colleagues in Leicester. We worked with Jack Hartnell, who's a lovely man, who also helped us edit this work. He's at the National Gallery. He wrote a wonderful book on medieval bodies, and he brought his insights into the coherency of the collection. I'm very pleased that we also published the work of a PhD student, and that we are developing the work and research of students, and I think that is a valuable thing that we've also achieved, that we've been doing. And also, there was also the very close engagement with an anonymous peer reviewer who will remain anonymous, but I just put in there just to highlight that a lot of people are involved to ensure the academic credibility and rigour of what is an open publication accessible for everyone. Because that'll be me. And thank you, Denny.